Good morning, everybody. Wiggs here. Happy Monday. It's cold out. I'm tired. Conditions aren't great, but I'm going to deal with it just like the Seattle Mariners did. After a 15-inning marathon of a Game 5 in the Division Series, they took a long flight from Seattle all the way to Toronto, cross country, north of the border, and they did their job. They handled business, took Game 1. Worst case, they go back to Seattle tied 1-1 with their pitching staff reset. Best case, it's 2-0, and they're playing in front of their home crowd, which we know has been such an advantage to them. So I'm really looking forward to Game 2. Game 1 was such a pitcher's duel right from the get-go. Well, I guess after George Springer hit the leadoff home run, it became a pitcher's duel. It was 1-0 for the longest time, and then finally in the 6th inning, Cal Raleigh took advantage of a mistake pitch from Gosman, who had been dealing all night. He left the splitter up in the zone. Raleigh hits it deep out to right center, gets the boys going. And I'll tell you who has been such a hero. This might seem kind of obvious, but Jorge Polanco has been the guy for Seattle since Game 5. He obviously had the big hit that ended that 15-inning game. And then he had 2 RBIs last night, the game-winning hit, 2 RBI singles. But he's becoming one of those guys where as these games get more intense, he seems to slow the game down. He's delivered some big hits for him, so that's only going to make him more confident going forward. And the team relies on him, so it'll be really interesting to watch how he continues to perform throughout the postseason, throughout the series. I'm sure he's going to keep coming up in big spots as these games are all going to be tight, and he's delivered. He's gotten you guys to where you are at this point. Cal Raleigh also put to bed any accusations of him not being a playoff performer pretty quickly, as he hasn't necessarily hit a ton of home runs throughout the postseason, but last night he had as big of one as you could get, getting the team up. Pitching's been outstanding on a night where you thought, you really needed Bryce Miller to give you quality innings, even just to keep it close. And he exceeded expectations by far, resting the bullpen, not having to go to them too early. I'm sure it's a huge breath of fresh air for Dan Wilson, as they had used most of their staff just getting to this point. So now with a 1-0 lead, you can manage the bullpen a little bit more freely, and then give everybody a chance to reset going back to Seattle for Game 3. So really looking forward for that. Tonight we got 2 games. That series will resume at 5 o'clock in Toronto, and then at 8 o'clock you got the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the LA Dodgers and the start of the National League Championship Series. Blake Snell will be going Game 1, and the Brewers, I believe, it's TBD. So once those pitching matchups come out, we'll throw in some predictions. But looking forward to a great night of baseball, and cheers, everybody. Let's have a great week.